Hey, happy Friday to you guys. It's another episode of the Desktop Confessional. As I mentioned, I think that subsequent desktop confessionals after all the stuff that's happened in the last week are going to be a little bit more fun, I would say. One of the big things, though, that has been coming around lately, and I'll just kind of go down the list. Now, as usual, I usually prepare some notes. So we're going to be starting a little bit on things that I'm kind of noticing today, and and other news and other things like that. So first things first, my official last day here at ACRMA 4 is next Friday, September 22nd. That is officially my last day here. I've declared it here, and also, I just told the district, I said, hey guys, I want to at least finish this week out. So that's what's going on. The 22nd is my last day here, which I don't mind at all, because one of the first things I'm going to be talking about today is the amount of shootings, murders, and stabbings that have been happening in the last couple weeks. I don't know what's going on, if there's something in the water or someone drank too much Kool-Aid, or I don't know what the hell's going on. But, well, to be honest with you, I think I know a little bit about what's going on. We are in this section of town, this section of Los Angeles is known as Century Palms. Century Palms is not one of the greatest areas in South LA. In fact, it's pretty bad. There's a gang member. There's a gang that's really close, that's centralized, really close to our school, known as the 97th Street Crips. Yeah, so I remember being in middle school, and when I was in middle school, I went to a Catholic school, so everything that we learned was pretty watered down and censored. But one thing that I did learn when I was at my middle school was this whole thing about the Bloods and the Crips. Of course, the 1992 riots happened when I was in first grade, and so going through third grade, fourth grade, and so on and so forth, you'd hear about gang violence, and I had the DARE program and how to keep away from drugs and all that fun stuff, because we're supposed to be good little children and stuff like that. And so, I knew about the Bloods and the Crips, but, it's only now that I've been working at this place that I find out that, the Crips are a real thing, and it's really disturbing. So, a couple weeks ago, somebody was shot over a game of dominoes, and that happened late at night. Another person was stabbed. Another person was shot and killed, and that ended up on the news. And that happened less than a block from the school during school hours. Surprisingly, even with all of the shootings, murders, and stabbings that we've had, we have not taken the school and put it into lockdown. Somehow we've missed having to put things into lockdown. We haven't had a lockdown this semester. It's been surprisingly good timing in that sense. But Century Palms is dangerous as fuck. It's one of the caveats of working at this particular location is that you're putting yourself in an area that is not very conducive to learning, thriving, growing, and over the past year and a half that I've been here, I've had to deal with hearing about shootings, murders, and stabbings, and all sorts of other violence going on. Student getting robbed.
Hey, listen.
Oh.
Hey, listen. Hey. Listen. Hey!
So, just letting you know, I had to take my lunch early because for the last week or so I've been asked to supervise during the 6th and 7th grade lunch that begins at 12:22. So I am taking my lunch early to do this discussion. But, other things that I really had a chance to witness and I really didn't want to is a murder scene on 106th and Main. There's a lot of things that I've seen here that I really would not like to see again. So I think my transition to Fullerton is definitely well-timed because the last thing I need is, some gang war to happen sometime between nutrition and lunch, and we all have to go into lockdown because there's bullets flying everywhere and the LAPD is trying to stop it. So, that's lovely. So yesterday, I finalized most of the paperwork for my transition to Fullerton, and, it was pretty surreal. This was the first time that I rode Eleanor all the way to Fullerton. The other times that I've gone for my testing and for my interviews, I've always gone in the car because I needed to look nice. And it was quite funny because I roll in and I park on the sidewalk much easier, well, on the curb, much easier than having to try to find a place to put my giant car, well, my not so giant car. I walk in and the receptionist looks at me and asks, the first thing comes out of her mouth is, "Did you ride your motorcycle in today?" And I answered yes, and rode my motorcycle in, and she asked me what I have, tell her I have a Yamaha. And first thing that she says is, "Well, we're all Harley girls here, but we all ride on the back. So you get extra props for riding your own." I'm like, okay, I can deal with that. Got a motorcycle tolerant staff. I'm good with that. And that's just human resources and district office. So that was nice. Paperwork. After that, I went over to Cal State Fullerton and get my fingerprints done. And then I had to ride all the way back to work. So that from Cal State Fullerton to back here to South LA was about 31 miles. And before that, I had to go get some coffee. So that was pretty much the half of yesterday. And then including a couple other errands I had to run, it ended up turning between 80 to 100 miles yesterday, just doing this, that, and the other thing. And I will say this, I'm tired. I was hoping that I was going to be able to take a nap. That wasn't going to happen. After this, I have to go stand outside and make sure kids don't die for the next 30 minutes. And then after that, it's just, downhill from here. Really lucky today. My principal emailed us and called in sick, basically saying, and I was kind of laughing about it because I'm kind of looking at it on my phone, is that he goes, "Well, I came down with a cold. Very fitting that you decided to come down with a cold on Friday. Nice job." And, and I'm kind of laughing about this. I mean, most of the time, in previous things, if a coworker's sick or a principal is sick, I really could care less. But the main reason why I'm kind of, giving this kind of a hard time is the fact that this particular principal has given a lot of us crap for using our personal days, for things like taking a break. And so, of course, he finally goes down sick. So I had proposed that, since he called off, he sent an email to call off due to a cold, I was proposing that the staff should arrange a meeting, because we're all concerned with his continued absences. So I think that what I suggest is that when he comes back from his illness leave, whatever that means, I think we should all have a meeting just to make sure he's okay. No, seriously, that's actually what went down last Friday. Was I got asked, they arranged a meeting, actually he arranged a meeting with me to ask if I was okay because of the number of absences I had to take. And then that's when I filed my resignation. Sorry, so yeah, it's a little bit of a mess, but hey, pot called the kettle black, right? I will say though, and I'm just going to say this, it's really, I don't think I've seen the morale of this school among the staffers so low. I think that a lot of my fatigue right now is coming from just emotional drain. It's hard when you're in the teacher's lounge, and it's hard for people to smile sometimes, and they're complaining about all of the observations and why they're being scrutinized for things that they don't even understand. I mean, there's just a lot going on, and I feel bad for them. I really do. I mean, I've been fortunate enough that I haven't been observed, because I could imagine what they would be doing to observe me. All right, Christine, I need to make sure that you can re-image this computer in less than 5 minutes, because Carmen complained that it took you 3 hours last time. Yeah, I think that's how an observation should run for me. If I don't finish everything like on a time trial, I fail at life. I think that's probably how that goes down. Well, speaking of failing at life, well, I digress, but I'm going to be losing my computer next week. So the computer that I'm using right now to do these desktop confessionals, I have to return before I leave. And it makes me sad because, this is one of the few times that I've been able to freeload on a Mac. And it's been a good machine. I've had the opportunity to have edited multiple videos on this thing, and it's been a good moneymaker. Now I have to actually grow up and buy my own, possibly, because I don't know what I'm going to be issued at the new district. So next week, and this will be part of Desktop Confessionals, I'll do a special edition of it, is on live Facebook, television, or whatever you call this, I'm going to commit digital seppuku on myself and re-image my laptop, on live stream. It's just one of the kind of I guess when I have to see myself out, I have to do it dignified, but I also have to make sure I leave no trace. So next Friday, live, I'll do digital seppuku. That is a term that I coined up because it just makes absolute sense. When Japanese warriors used to commit seppuku, it's usually because it's death before dishonor. So there you go, honorable death for me, honorable death for my position. Yeah, that just happens. As for Friday, today, no hockey. Last week, my Black Lady Kings and I, we lost in regulation 4-2 in our playoff game. This is my former boss. Let's find out what's going on. Hello. Actually, that's kind of weird. So the number that is linked to my former boss, I thought he was trying to call me or something like that. It appears to have been a telemarketer. I'm extremely confused right now. Anyway, the things that'll happen during a desktop confessional. Now, by the way, my radio is off because I really don't need someone asking me that something's broken, because then I'm going to be like, I'm at lunch, leave me alone. And that ain't going to happen. I'm trying to at least enjoy this safe haven while I still can. I still have all that going on. So anyway, as I was saying, we were eliminated from the playoffs last week. So I don't have a game this week, which is fine because I actually have homework I need to finish, and that's okay. So hockey's off for a little bit. I have a little bit of a break, which is good. Just kind of trying to transition out of this and move on to something else. And also just to make sure that, I'm ahead on my work and I'm not, falling behind on homework and things like that. Saturday, I'm also going to be heading to class from 1 to 4 p.m. But before that, I got to take Patch back to the vet. So if you've been listening to some of these desktop confessional episodes, I had mentioned that my rat, Patch, one of 5 that I have, was having an issue with losing his fur. He was balding in sections of his back, and it turned out that it was a skin parasite that he was dealing with. So about 3 weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago, I'm going to say 2 weeks ago, I took him to the vet, and he was prescribed medication, but he also has to receive an ivermectin shot, which takes care of parasites, in an animal's body. And so what I'm taking him in for Saturday is just a booster shot. He's going to get another shot of ivermectin. Hopefully that's going to be the last one, and it's going to take care of whatever parasites left in the system that the first shot, plus all the antibiotics that I've been giving him twice a day for the last 2 weeks, haven't got rid of yet. So he's going to be fine. He's still happy and doing things, but I'm hoping that he'll just continue to improve. And his fur looks like it's starting to grow back. There's still bald spots, but at least he doesn't look like he's losing like half of his hair. Because when I named him Patch, that's not what I meant. He had a lot of hair before that, so I think it's just that particular parasite or whatever is in his under his skin that's just giving him a hard time, forcing him to scratch, and then his hair falls out. So that's an improvement on that. Other than that, the other plan is on Sunday, I do plan to go fishing. I'm going to be doing half a day on a boat in the afternoon coming out of Long Beach. And this one is going to be big. This is my first deep sea fishing adventure. I have to rent all the gear because none of my fishing lines can take the weight. I'm required to have at least a 25-pound test line on my fishing rods, and the biggest I have is 15 because I only fish on the pier. So I'm going to have to rent a pole, but it's okay. I'm hoping that I'll catch some yellowtail and some other fun things. I've never caught anything bigger than a mackerel so far, and I know that I haven't been able to fish lately, but when you see a good Groupon offer that's expiring that you had purchased, you kind of need to use it. So I'm heading to Long Beach, over to Shoreline Park, but for this particular adventure, not to catch Pokemon. So I'm going to be catching real Magikarp. That'll be fun. Aside from that, that's really what's on the plate for this weekend. Next week is going to be the countdown to the end of my time here at CRMA4. I am also going to be releasing a video, and I'm still waiting for administrative clearance to release it to the rest of the advisory kids to tell them that I am departing at the end of next week. It was a video that I had started planning out last Saturday when I was boarding class, so I typed up the entire shot list, and I shot the video on Monday and Wednesday, and then finished editing on Wednesday. So it's just been something I've been doing behind the scenes while I was finishing other things, because I'm multitasking master like that. And as soon as I've gotten given the green light to release it, I will then post it on Facebook for everyone else to watch. It is unlisted. You cannot search for it. I will be posting the link only exclusive to people that I give it to, which means it's probably going to get posted on here. Aside from that, like I said, not really much drama to report here. I think that now that I'm on my way out, I'm being left alone, and that's kind of nice. But it doesn't mean that the drama hasn't disappeared. It's just that it hasn't affected me directly. I'm hoping that you guys have a good rest of the day and just being able to chill and do other things. I'm hoping that the rest of this day goes quickly, because honestly, I would really like to get out of here. That'd be awfully nice. It's been, like I said, it's been a lot of emotions up and down, a lot of just draining of energy. And I'm hoping morale improves here, but you really can't keep a high morale, especially when you feel like you have a bunch of procedures shoved down your throat, and humanity's dead. But that is what it is. So anyway, the other thing I'll also add to is that if anyone wants to take my place here, I can give you the link to the job description. It's been posted on the Alliance website since Monday. Unfortunately, when they posted it back up, the only changes that they made was they omitted the hourly pay, because it's probably going to be lower than what they originally posted to me. And in addition to that, they did not post the specifics to CRMA4 in terms of their needs as a school. They put in a bunch of generic stuff. So if you really want the lowdown on what it takes to do this job, because I will say it does require you to be a technologically adept martyr, let me know, and I will give you those. Those specs and what you need to expect. In addition to that, though, there is a perk to joining Alliance, is that your health plan, your benefits come with your pay. You do not have to pay, doesn't come out of your paycheck at all, so you do get benefits. And believe me, considering how much mental hell you're going to be going through, you're probably going to need them all. Okay, so on that bright note, I am going to check out and try to chill for the next 3 minutes or 4 minutes or whatever I have left in this break, and then I have to go outside to supervise lunch and make sure the kids don't die. Ta-ta for now. 300 kids await me. Yay. And yeah, be safe.